Mm. Okay.
Cooling down instead of warming up because
I
it's
wish
so
we were
warm.
cooling down.
Because it's so warm.
I regret turning off the aircon.
It's ikaw ay hindi large at hindi small.
Oh, you're gonna want me to share this later? Is that it?
I suspect you will want to share it later.
Do I?
So I prepared it and set it
A
here.
key part of our relationship was defined by this darn bowl of ice cream.
Okay. Monitor checks in. Shooting it to friends.
Sharing links.
Yeah. Whew. It is one humid night.
Night, week, month. Take a break. Oops. Load. Okay. Hello, Ryan.
Good evening.
Okay, video prep, getting link.
Okay. I'm also resharing. Hi, Rehan. Shout out. Eh, ano ba? Rehan ba? Ivan? Depende sa pangalan.
Depende sa trabaho.
Basta don't forget, bumoto sa susunod na eleksyon. Bumoto ng tama.
Oh, yeah, thanks. It's a lot of changes. Hi, Karen. Oof. And Mitch, why did you tag us in a dilly bar? It's so evil. Wala kaming ice cream. Well, I don't have ice cream. I think Toby has ice cream.
I do.
Toby always has ice cream.
Well, yes. It's like an inhaler. I have to make sure I have it back up in case I need it
Wow.
for those days I need it.
And here's me. I don't need my inhaler.
Yeah. Well, if I also started working out, I wouldn't need my inhaler too.
No, I think you'd still need ice cream. Not going to jump on that one.
Oh my gosh. But it's really so warm. It's oppressively warm.
Mainit. Yeah, I know.
With the fan on, we feel hot air hitting us.
And then even like kanina with the aircon, like I wasn't content like kung aircon lang. Parang I needed the fan. It was just my electric bill would be terrible the next month.
But it is 9:05. I guess we can
start.
Because, you know, it is better to start later than never. And this is Toby.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy Pride, our little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
It is completely unscripted and not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us as we talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again. It's episode 182. And that could have been a Blink reference that we didn't do.
Why would you want to make a reference to Blink 182?
No, I just suddenly thought 182. What would be good for 182? Blink? Yes, but it's episode 182, and we're talking about another thing I love because it's Toby's Week.
Wow, I'm glad you're owning this. It's Toby's Week. And yeah, so today we're talking about ice cream.
Yeah, and that's WEAK because this is one of my weaknesses.
Oh, that's really bad. Rehan misses visiting. But yeah,
so our topic today is all about ice cream.
Yes.
And ice cream, the dessert, not the act of screaming and saying it's me. It's my week. You have to joke to my fans. You have to laugh when I make
No,
jokes.
because you can't sentence.
I can't sentence. My brain is like not words. Ah, the heat. To try to beat the heat, I decided to drink soda. I'm regretting it. Oh my god. I
Because
can't.
it was sugar-free soda.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's not the same anymore as how I used to enjoy soda.
Soda's bad.
It's like I now only appreciate soda with vodka. That's,
Okay, that's fair.
or the occasional smaller glass, but this feels a lot now. So yeah, ice cream. We're talking about ice cream, and of course, we have to first define what is ice cream.
Kaya nga birthday mo kasi. We can go through your full definition. That's fine.
Well, to define it, we have to look at history. And when it comes to the origins of ice
I'm
cream,
scared you're not even on Wikipedia. Where are you?
according to this website, ice cream or an ice cream like food, see, that's why the distinction is important, was first eaten in China in around 697 AD. King Tang of Shang had 94 icemen who helped make the dish of buffalo milk, flour, and camphor, which is a
Camphor.
mint, right?
Yeah, one of those.
So-
Something you find in Vicks.
So mint was the first ice cream.
I don't know.
Okay, now that changes things for me. A kind of ice cream was invented in China around 200 BC when milk and rice mixture was frozen by packing it with snow. And then Roman emperors were supposed to have sent slaves to mountaintops to bring back fresh snow, which was then flavored and served as an early form of ice cream. So all of these are like listed in this website. We have no idea on their validity. The King of England, Charles I, is supposed to have offered his chef £500 a year to keep his ice cream recipe a secret from the rest of England.
Wow.
The explorer, Marco Polo, is believed to have seen ice creams being made during his trip to China and introduced them to Italy. And then ice cream sundaes were invented when it became illegal to sell ice cream sodas on a Sunday in an American town in Evanston during the late 19th century. To get around the problem, some traders replaced the soda with syrup, and they called the dessert an ice cream sundae. They replaced the Y with an E to avoid upsetting religious leaders. So ice cream is an act of rebellion.
Because
Bad. Because supposedly it is prohibited to have ice cream sodas on a Sunday. So yeah.
I don't know, but okay, sure.
So given all that, let's go to Wikipedia to go for the more official, what is ice cream? So ice cream, which is derived from earlier iced cream or cream ice, is a sweetened frozen food typically eaten as a snack or dessert. See, typically, we can have it for lunch. It's
You
made,
can, I cannot. Okay, go.
It's made from dairy milk or cream and is flavored with a sweetener, usually sugar and alternatives, and any spice, such as cocoa or vanilla, and can be made by whisking a flavored cream base and liquid nitrogen together. The meaning
So
of the
Mitch,
name,
yes, apparently Sunday with an E is a weird way to get around the prohibition.
and to not anger the religious people who feel Sunday is only for God.
Mm.
Because Sunday is the
Strange.
day of rest.
Sunday is the day of ice cream.
So products that do not meet the criteria can be sometimes called frozen dairy dessert instead.
That's not a very catchy name.
And then there are analogs made with dairy alternatives or milk substitutes. Everything from those who are lactose intolerant to those who are vegan or are allergic to dairy protein. Can be served and eaten with a spoon, licked from edible cones, or served with other desserts such as apple pie, and so on and so forth. So yeah, of course, in Wikipedia, they state the history going back as 550 BCE
Oops, that was too early.
and setting it in Persia. So, see, claimed Roman Emperor Nero had ice collected and mixed to make a first sorbet.
That seems ironic given he's more popularly known for like being
Burning
there
Rome.
as Rome burned down, that he also had ice cream. So
So ice cream has a very colorful history. It seems.
Karen says apple a la mode. Yum.
Yes, that the perfect blend of hot and cold.
Which makes me go back to that prior revelation that you have not had like baked Alaska or something.
Mhm.
Well, which is a hot and cold like
Yeah,
combination.
yeah.
Something to rectify, I guess, somehow.
Okay, so ice cream. What do we talk about when it comes to ice cream? Let's start with the basics, flavors.
Yes. What about flavors?
So, you have expressed in previous episodes that you never liked Rocky Road.
Yes, because it's an ice cream with my name. It's in that list of things that will always get like asked. It's like when they find out your my name is Rocky, they're like, "Oh, Rocky," or it's, "Ooh, you like Rocky Road?"
Mhm.
So no. So instinctively no. It didn't help that as a kid it was like an ice cream with nuts,
Mhm.
and so it didn't.
Nuts and marshmallows.
Yeah, it wasn't immediately appealing just for the nuts alone. I was like,
Mhm.
but then later on you come to appreciate these things. But I mean, to this day, it's still not my favorite flavor.
Mhm.
It's I'm not. I don't hate it, but I don't really go for it. And I do admit I tend to just go for plain flavors. I mean, like just a flavor on its own
Chocolate,
without too many bits and bobs
yeah,
inside. Um,
vanilla.
I've gone through phases of trying different
Mhm.
things, but then like I'll always fall back on just plain flavors.
Mhm.
And then you,
So, chocolate almond fudge has been a huge favorite because it has a mix of.
what chocolate almond fudge? What is this?
It's got brownies, it's got almonds, it's got chocolate, it's got fudge, it's got nuts.
I don't remember us ever having this.
It was one of those really complicated ones. So I didn't really order it that much.
It does. Wait. And then the Godzilla and the King Kong were not complicated.
So it's like a portable Godzilla. It's like a portable King Kong minus the fruit.
Everything is portable to you. A pie is portable to you. I don't know what you're saying.
Coffee crumble was a favorite as well at a
Coffee
certain point in
crumble is
time.
fun.
And it really works with those little chocolate bits. Coffee crumble
Yeah.
without those bits seems bitin.
It adds a
Um,
texture kasi.
yeah, and then when it comes to fruity flavors, um, I had this thing when I really enjoyed back when they used to have this banana split flavor, which is basically chocolate with a banana ice cream flavor.
I keep thinking of the Mickey Mouse ice cream.
Yes, that was also pretty good. The Mickey Mouse ones that they were shape of Mickey Mouse, but they were always horror Mickey Mouse because they're like slightly melted.
Karen says mango for her and ice cream by Ben and Jerry's.
Mhm.
Mitch is like, yes, coffee crumble.
I never really got attached to a brand, although I know I like the raspberry. Oh, I forgot the full name, but there was that raspberry ice cream thing that we used to get from Fruits and Ice Cream.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think
you
that's what I
remember that one? It was that the thick chocolate with raspberry type of flavor, which was really nice for that one. Vanilla was a staple only because you can mix anything with vanilla and it still works. And then um, I never liked mint. I know we have friends who are like super mint ice cream is good.
Yeah,
But
Toby has this war on mint, especially mint with chocolate.
it's always it's always like you're eating toothpaste when you have something that's mint. So I think the only time I really appreciated mint um, was pho,
Mm.
where we'd break mint leaves and put it in there. But
Or in that case, like Thai basil.
yeah, but when it came to ice cream, I was never a mint person.
And chocolate. You don't like mint also in your chocolate.
Yeah, and then never got into durian. That was just a no.
In the beginning, I had difficulty with mango flavored ice cream.
Mhm.
It was like I don't know why it was too
It was sharp.
sharp
Yeah, it was a
or
very sharp
too
flavor.
too strong, and then it was hard to like handle.
Mhm.
Okay, so Mitch mentioned salted caramel, and then a penzik with salted caramel with toffee.
Mhm.
And I think we talked about this previously, like salted caramel. I never quite get it. Or like I've yet to really experience a
Mhm.
super nice balanced salted caramel.
Mhm.
Carmen's Best. I don't think I've ever tried Carmen's Best. Have you tried Carmen's Best?
I think once a small cup during a Christmas party. It was
Mm-mm.
okay. Um,
In brands though, I think like my family grew up as a Magnolia shop, but then we eventually, but there was a time because Magnolia disappeared, and so
mhm.
we ended up becoming Nestle, and then Coffee Crumble kind of
Yes.
worked out. And then there was a time we went purist for fruity flavors, and then we
Mhm.
kept getting Arce.
What
Which
was
is
what was
good.
the thing before Arce? Before it became Arce?
I don't know.
There was that
Wasn't it
brand,
always Arce? And that was the
or did
that was the
Arce
point.
become something?
I don't know, but it's still around now.
Because I sort of remember there was a specific brand that was super yummy, but then they were bought out. So was it Selecta? No. So they become eventually Arce, or the owners became Arce eventually.
Oh, I think looks like Nestle may have been. Uh, Kasi it started as ours, and then it became Selecta,
Yeah, there
and
you
then
go.
another brand became Arce.
Yes, see, that's the thing. And there was that moment of when it shifted to the other Arce, parang it's not as good anymore. And then
Mm-mm.
that's when we shifted to Selecta ice cream, and we were like, oh, it's here. There's the flavors we like. Yeah.
Okay. Karen says Hokey Pokey and Malted Milk by Carmen's Best,
Ooh.
but mahal. But a lot of these fancy ice creams tend to be along these lines. Aina says she likes chunky ice creams
Hey,
with like
Ina.
oh, and then responds about the cheese. I I've always had a mixed feeling about cheese and ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because as a kid, admittedly, my ice cream was just philosophy was very Western,
Mm-hmm.
and so when I started when I when encountered quote unquote dirty ice cream and all the cheese ice creams, it's like why is there cheese in this ice cream? Because I've always had chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and stuff. But I grew into it.
I always like the cheese ice creams more from the dirty ice cream angle.
We really,
So when it was like
constantly calling it dirty ice cream is so bad.
yeah, but the more expensive specialty ice creams with cheese and that, okay.
Or sometimes a lot of times the cheese is milder
Yeah.
with the specialty stuff,
I
and
think
then
the only
and then
time
the street cart ice cream. I don't know what you
Yeah.
call it.
I think the only time I appreciated cheese ice cream that was expensive was that, well, it was more gelato,
Ah,
but
yeah,
it was a blue cheese.
yeah, because
And
that's
that
like
was
naturally strong.
yummy. That was nice. Um, and just so we, elephant in the room, we're not gonna talk about a certain brand that we don't support anymore, even if they had nice ice cream. No need to talk about that more. Nothing in
Someone's
the
going
comments.
to inevitably ask, and
Please,
then
let's not talk about it in the comments.
yeah.
But yeah, but then you also have ice creams that go for the weird flavors, and I loaded a list just so that we can explore some that we probably have.
It's
or
an
have not heard of.
American list, so
I'm
it's
ignoring
going to
the
be
names,
weird.
but you have here ice cream that has candied ginger and roasted turmeric.
As you're the one who's been drinking weird things with turmeric. What is your opinion then? This, do you think it'll work? Because
Okay,
when the first time you drank that turmeric drink, your immediate response is, it sounds like,
so
it tastes like kombucha
So
because
there's
you had a
that-
bad experience with
there's
kombucha.
there's that juicing place in SM that had this honey iced tea that had chili and turmeric. And I decided to try it. And at first, I hated it. And I got so into it. So for a time, whenever we did groceries, I'd buy a large glass. But then I stopped again because I decided to try a large glass and a bottle of water, and that tipped me over. So other weird ice cream. Supposedly in Japan, there's a fish flavored ice cream.
I'm not surprised. We did watch, I mean, like, how many episodes of what was that? Iron Chef,
Mhm.
where it's like when in doubt, bring out the ice cream maker and put meat into it.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't be surprised.
There-
Lots of comments. So Mitch mentions the pistachio flavor of Arce.
Mm.
And then, but Manong Sorbetero cheese ice cream is really good. Jed is here and says Cold Stone Berry Cheesecake.
That sounds good.
Mitch was asking me to look up, was this the Manila Peninsula Pen Pals, but I don't know what I'm supposed to find.
Okay, I'll continue with the comments while you continue searching. Jed also mentions chili chocolate at Afters in Morato. I like the mix of chili and chocolate. My first time to actually decide to try something that was chili and chocolate was because of that movie, Chocolate.
Oh, okay, yeah. That really
Damn, that
sells it.
movie makes you want to try food that has chocolate and chilies.
I read it, and of course, I'm like, the book is great too. But
Oh, I haven't read the
I
book.
read the book. It's great.
Aina shares Carmen's best cheese ice cream. It tastes like salted butter with a tang of buttermilk. Sounds interesting. Karen shares Korean ice cream.
Oh, there, the pen pals. It looks like a Godzilla.
So Korean ice cream, I presume, Karen, there's a lot of possible options when you say Korean ice cream. There's the ice cream that looks like the fish. There's the ice cream which is basically Jello ice cream pops. So they call it
the Melona.
yeah. Yeah, the Melona ones and then there's also
the yogurt one.
yeah, they have there's so it's like pinipig, but it's yogurt with a milk
with a milk
casing.
layer. Yeah.
Oh, they're
white
also
chocolate.
good. But they're also so much sugar. Oh my gosh. I remember when I was looking at it and it's like, okay, this is a lot of sugar.
Kenny says the other day he finally achieved his childhood dream of having cookies and cream ice cream using Cream-O cookies as the cookie spark.
Oh.
When you say Cream-O, is it just the plain Cream-O cookies or the chocolate covered?
Because there's so
Cream-Os?
many types of Cream-Os.
Yes. So that's interesting.
Aina also shares, I literally have Ben and Jerry's Cherry Garcia and Chunky Monkey.
I hear Chunky Monkey a lot. I think
yeah,
my sister
Chunky
gets
Monkey. I think I remember I used to get pints of that when I was in the States. And my brother would be staring at me, and the next thing I know, he also now has stock in the freezer. So I was like,
It's funny that I don't have a. I mean, like it's one of those. That's a very later American thing. Like, what's your Ben and Jerry's flavor? And I do not know. It's like there, and we've tried it a few times. Or like I think we've most often eaten Ben and Jerry's in Singapore because my sister tends to have, and then there are stalls in the mall.
I feel
But then,
Ben and
I
Jerry's.
don't have a flavor I prefer.
I feel they only are as popular as they are. Not to say that they don't taste good, but because they're able to market in so many places.
Yeah, and it's like good branding.
Yeah, so when you travel and then you see it's also there, then it really gets more popular. That's why San Miguel beer is also so popular. Ace, I don't know if this was a typo, if this is an actual brand, is very good and reasonably priced. I like their watermelon ice drops. So refreshing.
So, do we argue, are ice drops still ice cream?
Well, that's where we have to talk about the wide range of frozen desserts because you have sherbets, you have ice creams, you have gelato, you have the fried ice cream, which is very different from the deep fried ice cream.
And you have Dippin' Dots, saviors of vaccines.
You have Dippin' Dots, and then you have what's this? Kulfi, which is almost like ice drops, which is an Indian thing. You have Banana Foster flaming ice cream. You have ice cream cake. You have, all these different things.
Mitch is asking, what is the movie that the guy made an ice cream using coffee creamer and ice cube and sugar in a bowl? They were in a diner and the guy seemed to be wearing a checkered polo. What a very specific scene. It almost sounds like
Chef?
I think it sounds like Chef. I don't know. But is there a scene but I don't know if he makes an ice cream in that movie. Okay, I don't know. Is ice buko of yesteryear's ice cream?
Or ice candy, for that matter.
What is yesteryear's? Oh, I don't know many desserts.
Or is yesteryear's just a reference meaning to our past?
No, I don't know. Okay.
So, yeah. It's tricky when you talk about frozen desserts on whether or not something counts as ice cream. Because if you start saying, as long as there's milk, there's ice, and it's a dessert, it's ice cream, then halo-halo, by right, is an ice cream. Mais con hielo, if it has milk, is ice cream. It's deconstructed ice cream because it's not yet creamy.
Sige na nga, birthday mo. That's just going to be my line more and more this week.
And then, of course, you have frozen custard, which I also prefer to call ice cream because you can make that with just bananas. Keep your bananas once they're really brown and overripe, and you need to make them really brown and overripe. You know, when they're like almost yucky to look at. That's when you peel them. You put them all in a bowl. You mix them thoroughly, and then
You
just
mash them essentially.
yeah, and then you just let them freeze. And then once they're frozen, oh, lovely ice cream.
You can have it right with your frozen orange that you also left in the fridge.
You can mix it with peanut butter, with chocolate syrup, or with a spoonful of Milo. Oh, lovely. Because the custard is like the condensed milk, and then Milo. Ah, so yummy.
So before we would always get like a half gallon or a gallon of vanilla ice cream.
Yes.
And Toby would decorate that with whatever he could pull on.
Kisses.
Like normally the bowl would
sprinkles.
have like spirals of chocolate syrup and or peanut butter.
Yes.
And then he'd have whatever sprinkles on it. He'd have syrup on it also. He'd break cookies, he'd break chocolate, all this stuff. Milo, of course, added to it. And then it was like we'd each have a bowl. And then this is a lot of ice cream. And it was dessert every time. So it's amazing that, you know, that he's still like not technically diabetic, but
Blood sugar is okay.
but that used to be
Even before
used
our
to be
keto.
crazy. Yeah, that used to be crazy in the pan. Oh my god! It was only, and then for me, like it was only with Toby that I actually finally got to try gelato.
Yes.
I had never eaten gelato before Toby.
Mhm.
Of course, there's the iceberg story where that was the first time that I really had something big at icebergs, and apparently it's not for sharing.
It's not that it's not for sharing. I just
Cue the
wasn't-
photo. Come on.
I just wasn't used to sharing them. So icebergs had what we call the big appetites options, and there were two. You had the Godzilla Grand Slammer, and you have the King Kong's Revenge. Both were bowls that had, I think,
That doesn't work out.
6 scoops of ice cream, if I remember correctly. The King Kong one had vanilla, chocolate, and cheese flavored ice cream, and then it had peaches and chocolate and sticko. No, not sticko. Peaches, chocolate, and pineapples. And then the Godzilla one had bananas pala. And then Godzilla had the peaches and the sticko and the ube and other fruity ice creams. They were lovely. And they were cheaper to buy compared than getting separate parfaits or separate sundaes.
This is Toby's main argument. Because, okay, but the premise also is that one parfait is not enough. That you're better off getting 2 orders.
Because if you order a parfait and that's like 220, and then your partner gets a parfait that's 220, and then you're both bitten, so you'll order something else. So you're now at the 600 range. Whereas if you got the Godzilla, that's 499, you're happy.
But again, your reaction was that it wasn't. This scenario sounds very like practical. That oh, you're gonna share the giant thing. No, Toby was really like.
Yeah, so it was the restaurant. We sat down.
It was our first time together. It was my first time at Iceberg.
Menu arrives, and Rocky's looking at the menu, and me, I actually just take the menu, put it back, and I go, it's okay, I'll get a Godzilla. And then Rocky
takes a look at it. Okay, that sounds fine. And then I give the menu back.
And then I look at him, and I go, we can share.
And then, the only response was, we're not sharing.
Yes.
Mamiya is here, and she has only had the peach cobbler at ice cream. So
those are good too.
So every time we've gone to Icebergs, more often than not, it was always the King Kong or the Godzilla. I tend to like the King Kong more because there's more chocolate, and chocolate and bananas always works out. But then the Godzilla is not bad. It's just a lot of fruity flavors. Yes, Mitch. It was one of our many awkward silences in our life. It's like it's like the breadsticks at Esbarro. Not the breadsticks, but the bread that comes with the pasta.
Yes.
Tom is here and he says your math is not the best. I agree. Toby's food math is
No,
strange.
my math is the best. You just all don't agree. So the difference of a parfait and a sundae, as asked by Karen.
Okay.
So a sundae is a dessert consisting of ice cream with any number of toppings, whereas a parfait, to be more specific, is an iced dessert made with egg yolks, sugar, cream, and flavoring, usually fruit, sometimes with the addition of a liquor. And then an American parfait is a layered dessert consisting of fruit, ice cream, pastries, whipped topping, etc. So in the more original parfait, it's more really something different.
It's a specific
But
dessert.
in the more Americanized version, it's their version of a halo-halo.
Okay, with ice cream.
Yeah, if you
yes.
think about it. Whereas sundae is just toppings. But of course, if you have too much toppings, then it starts becoming a parfait as far as the American version is concerned. So that's where the difference lies.
Jed's
But they all
asking-
go to my belly!
I should have known this would happen with this topic. Okay, Jed was asking if he can steal the ice cream story for a web series. I guess, sure.
Only if whoever will be eating the ice cream mentions Baduy Pride in their dialogue.
Wow, that's hard. That's hard. Okay. It's like a weird safe word that's like hard to slip into conversation.
Or slipping that they were just watching it and then I don't know.
No, I don't feel obligated. That's just silly. That's just funny. But yeah, then when you look at icebergs and how they define sundaes versus parfaits, they just treat it by like number of scoops. So sundaes tend to be 2 scoops with toppings.
Yes.
Whereas a parfait is at least 3 scoops. And then I don't know if they layer it as well. I think oh my God, I remember the first time I ever had a parfait was before Magnolia closed and came back. But they used you could eat ice cream at the Magnolia factory in QC, which is near Balete Drive. But yeah, then that's like I ordered a parfait there at that particular ice cream place, and it was so busy. It was so busy, but good memories of going there. And then, in hindsight, it wasn't necessarily that special. It doesn't taste that different from like if you ordered something from Icebergs. But it was just nice to say that you went to the Magnolia ice cream factory and had ice cream. Yeah, and then what are the other ice creamy things that you like in terms, or specialty frozen delights or that you prefer? If you want to go by like Magnolia Selecta branding of what they call their things, like what are your thoughts on cornetto and drumsticks?
So
yeah.
I think we both never got into the Magnum craze.
Yes, that's true.
I always felt that the Magnum craze was just people riding with the brand, when in truth, your money was worth and getting so much more if you just bought Pinipig.
Yeah, and then Pinipig Crunch is like awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of the Magnums were okay. I guess they just looked fancy. But in terms of flavor, I was never really impressed with the Magnums.
Yeah, Mitch relates that the Magnolia factory was like a field trip venue destination, like Coke.
Oh my gosh, Magnolia factory.
Aina feels Cornetto over drumstick. Okay, that's an opinion.
Cornetto. Well, Cornetto felt like it won over drumstick because the tips were always filled up. And I feel that was an intentional.
Have you seen that
thing of the
weird
machine.
feature in
Where
the
they sell
UK?
tips now.
There's Cornetto tips, but it's really just a cone with chocolate. It's not even ice cream. It's just funny.
RJ mentions Super Scoops.
Have you tried vegan ice cream? No, we have not. We have not tried any vegan ice cream.
No.
At most, I have tried keto ice cream, which in terms of texture starts to feel a little sherbety.
Yeah.
But then it's also super hard to scoop until it starts to melt. So normally, whenever the few times I've gotten it, I look at my Mount Everest chipping away at the ice cream so that I can eat it. It only feels like if you are super desperate because you miss the texture and experience of ice cream, then you would get a keto ice cream. But the cost is stupid.
Yeah.
Because it's like $700 for a pint. 500 to 700 for a pint. Then I can never justify it in my head, and I always feel like, why did I do this? So I've stopped. I've stopped. So I haven't had ice cream for a while.
Um,
Okay, Kenny says celebrate his 18th birthday at a Haagen-Dazs ice cream cafe. Then on his 19th as well. But then they closed out all their stores in the Philippines. Oh yeah, I remember there used to be Haagen-Dazs things
I
around.
didn't get that much into Haagen Dazs.
I never also, but then I just
Because
remember
again,
seeing them. But I know there was a stall in Glorieta or something near the ATM.
Yeah, I think I was always just doing the math of, for the price of one Haagen Dazs pint, I can get around 10 hot fudge sundaes in McDonald's, or 2 normal pints for Selecta. So I was like, I'll stick to
Ooh,
this.
that's an interesting digression. Then favorite fast food ice cream.
Ooh, ooh.
Like, is it the McDonald's Sundae? Is it the Wendy's Frosty? Does that still count as like ice cream, or is it
Because it
pretending
is
to be a
soft. Because
milkshake?
it is soft
It is
serve
soft
ice
serve,
cream.
put in a cup, right?
Yes.
So, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so if I were to rank fast food ice cream, the Wendy's Frosty would go to first place,
Ooh,
followed by
is it just a plain Frosty, or is it one of those
the
new dressed up Frosties?
no, the plain chocolate Frosty,
Okay,
followed by the Shakey's chocolate milkshake.
but that's a shake. That's not an ice cream,
Okay.
although it has ice cream in it.
Yeah, so if we don't count that, because it was clearly ice cream that they whipped into a shake.
Yeah,
It
that's
wasn't
true.
a shake, it was ice cream whipped into a shake. If we don't count that, then I'll have to oddly go to the Family Mart ice cream all you can
Okay, that's fair.
promo.
You just like building the ice cream.
And the forearm height of ice cream.
What is the tallest that you've gotten?
Yeah, forearm.
This is this happened at work, so I never
couldn't-
saw these
Yeah, I
things.
couldn't take a photo. There wasn't time. I had to eat it.
So people mentioned the Blue Bunny from SNR, McFlurry specifically from McDonald's, Frosty with fries. Yeah, Frosty with fries is
Yeah,
great.
frosted
combination.
with fries is always a nice
Dairy
combination.
Queen. Oh, I love Dairy Queen
Dairy
because
Queen.
they have good ice cream sandwiches.
Although I don't know if I count Dairy Queen as a fast food ice cream.
That's true.
I feel
it's a little
it's-
specialty.
Yeah,
already.
I feel it's more specialty due to the cost.
Twister fries dipped into McDo hot fudge sundae.
Mhm.
Okay, Jemp's Frosty
With crunchy bread.
combo.
I think
What's
yeah,
Jemp?
Jeps is a friend of ours.
Okay.
If I'm getting the reference right, Tom, that's basically what Jeps used to do back in LaSalle. Because we did a lot of ice cream sandwiches. We'd have bread, we'd buy ice cream, we'd put it in the bread.
Okay.
Yeah, and
That always weirded me out.
the
Ice cream and
carbon
bread.
carb.
Yeah, I know. It's like
It's
like pancit canton
It's
and
like
bread.
pasta,
But that's also weird, you know.
You
It's,
put-
so it's only in my adult life that I actually tried ice cream
Mhm,
in bread.
mhm.
That I tried pancit canton in
Mhm.
bread. You know, it's like okay, but it's a lot, you know. And I still prefer my classic, school ice cream sandwich experience.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to ice cream sandwiches, I think my first place would still be pandesal with ice cream
because it's salty.
compared to the other breads. But then,
Oh, Karen mentioned black ice cream.
I haven't.
I've
tried
never had a
those.
black ice cream. Yeah.
I think I had one before, but I think it just was colored black. It wasn't particularly interesting.
Mitch, of course, Singapore ice cream sandwich. Actually, I don't really like. Okay, I know they serve it in bread, or they do the one with the wafer.
Yeah, the wafers.
I didn't like either because it just felt really silly. And to be fair, it's a huge chunk of ice cream. It's
Mhm.
like this solid block, but then like, I don't know. I didn't really like the experience.
And then there's that new Korean one that looks like pandesal that's cut in a porcupine-like way.
No, I
that
haven't
has
seen
ice
that.
cream. I see it in SM. I tried once. The bread's too thick, so it wasn't that fun for
Tom
me.
explains there was a bakery beneath the Wendy's store along path.
Yes.
We dipped the bread in the frosty.
Yes.
Oh.
We used to do that.
Okay.
So we'd be sitting outside the bakery to buy the bread, and then we'd go to the McDonald's next door to get the ice cream.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Good memories. And then what else? What other ice cream was interesting? There were those interesting ice cream dishes that tried to be interactive, like the one where they pour
What?
the hot syrup,
Oh, and then
and then
like
the dome
the
would
chocolate dome
melt
would melt.
and the
Okay.
stuff like that. So those were interesting.
Oh yeah, I
And
think we had one where like I think it was one of those nitrogen frozen things, and
yes,
then they hold it over the table and drop it so
yes,
that
it
it shatters and
shatters.
makes this abstract
Mm.
pattern. And like okay,
Tivoli, oh my gosh, Tivoli was such a good ice cream brand.
and Presto,
Yes, those were nice brands.
and this is Coney Island.
Coney Island was okay for me. I wasn't that into it.
I think I only liked it because eating the Eskimo roll was like such an
The
achievement for me.
Eskimo, yes, the Eskimo was such a treat. But Tivoli kasi, what I liked about Tivoli, it was like chocolate bars that had ice cream in it.
Mm,
So that
mm.
was really such an interesting moment. And then
Okay, ice cream cake thoughts.
only got experienced it a few times. Was always fascinated by it, but was also always very depressed by it because
Custard.
cake never really lasts long.
Uh-uh.
And a normal cake will last longer because you can keep it. Whereas an
Okay.
ice cream cake, it's either they serve it then, okay, balik na natin sa ref kasi matutunaw, so you don't get to see it for the rest of the party. Or it's left out there and then you can see it, getting sadder every passing minute.
Do you remember that there's like from a convenience factor outside of Dairy Queen, isn't it? Burger King has that weird like chocolate ice cream
The
mousse
mousse, yeah,
thing.
the mousse slice cake thing. Yeah, that was way expensive. That's like 99 pesos.
It's quite
Or
expensive.
199
It's
pesos
very
for a
indulgent.
single slice. And admittedly, it was not as fulfilling as I wanted it to be. I'd rather have two Frosties.
Toby's ice cream man. Ina says Tivoli had the best ice cream sandwiches. Okay, that I agree. They had a very good like. That's what I look for in a
Yeah.
ice cream sandwich flavor experience. Um, which I don't really see. And the closest now that the last time when I was still eating ice cream was probably Dairy Queen's
Mm.
ice cream sandwiches, which weren't always in stock. I remember though there was one time for BPI's credit card promo, the Real Thrills promo was that you could exchange your receipts for ice cream at Dairy Queen,
Mm.
and but there were certain, but it was mostly like their whatever their pre-made confections, so the dilly bars and the ice cream
Yeah.
sandwiches. And I remember we would show up with receipts and we just kept exchanging and we would stock up on like ice
Mhm.
cream sandwiches for me.
Yes.
That was crazy. That was super crazy. That was like the best part of living in Cubao because there was a Dairy Queen in every mall
Mhm.
or more than one actually. It's so many for such a small space.
And then during my years in ABS-CBN, I used to have Sunday I used to have ice cream days wherein I'd go around to every office mate
Okay.
and I'd ask, can I have 5 pesos? And they're like, why? Basta, can I have 5 pesos? And then some will give 5, some will give 10, some will give. And then with all the money I'd collect, I'd go to the supermarket next door and I'd buy around 2 to 3 flavors of ice cream and then all these different toppings. And then I would buy either cones or I won't buy cones and I'll just bring that all back. And then I'd go to the eating area in the office. I'd set them all up. And then I'd email blast everyone, free ice cream. So they'd all show up with their office mugs and they're like, oh, they make their own. Ano. And I'm like, no, you guys paid for it. So that's what I used to do. It was paluwagan for ice cream, basically.
Yeah. Quaint. Okay. It's just like what?
Croffle?
Truffle with vanilla ice cream syrup and fruits. What is that?
I guess it's a crepe with, I don't know, a souffle. But that's croffle.
It does seem to be a waffle
Yeah,
derived thing.
crepe waffle or something.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
And then what else? Ice cream was always interesting whenever they made the toppings. So, like, what was that crepe place that we used to go to in Makati?
Breton.
Yes, which would have the savory and the sweet crepes.
Yes.
And then it would always be a race to try to eat it before the ice cream completely melted, which never happens, but it's always fun to try. And then,
I could do it because I'm not slowed down by going. Hmm.
You have to savor it. If you
You
don't,
don't have to savor it like you're shooting a commercial. Toby, you're like, with eyes closed and a head nod. There's always that, if it's really good. If it's not great, then he just like, and his mouth is like complaining. He's still gonna finish it, but he's like, oh, this is what I want. Okay.
but yeah, Cafe Breton had very nice memories.
Mitch
of those
asks,
desserts.
so what are favorite toppings?
That's a tricky question.
Because Toby's like, favorite toppings all.
Yeah, but not all at the same time. It's always I like to mix.
But yeah, you do like
know,
creating flavor
yeah,
combination.
I like trying to see what goes with what. So you know, one day it might be marshmallows and Milo. Another day it might be the kisses with peanut butter. Another day it might be peanut butter with the marshmallows. And you know,
growing up, I was super amused by the chocolate syrup that freezes upon contact,
which is actually just chocolate syrup with coconut oil.
Yeah, it's funny.
That so shattered my my joy of it when I realized
it wasn't
coconut.
It wasn't super complicated. It was
Yeah.
just chemistry. But yeah, so I mean, but I think I just go back to chocolate syrup. I think that no ice cream can go wrong with a splash of chocolate syrup. I don't mind strawberry and stuff, but then chocolate's like my go-to.
Yeah, and I think strawberry always has that. So it's either it's that watery strawberry that's super pink that does become a shell, or it's the jammy type of strawberry. But then when you place it, you feel like some parts are just water and you don't really have enough strawberry. Or lastly, it's the more strawberry syrup, which always is parang nagsa-separate na yung colors niya.
Oh, I'm just thinking, sorry, suddenly about syrup. Like, as much as official Hershey's chocolate syrup is good, but then I really like brown cow.
Oh,
you remember brown cow?
But wasn't brown cow meant to be a drink?
Yes, but then we used it like a syrup.
Yes, brown cow was so good. Brown cow was so good. Oh my gosh,
I'm looking it up.
That was such a brown cow is the sunny orange of chocolate. Because it was a concentrate. It was supposed to be you mix it with the milk, right? To create your drink.
There's a Spot PH post about it. Wait, what did they say? Unfortunately.
Yeah, there.
So squeeze into milk and a glass of chocolate and you won't do the secret kind of gross thing we used to do or not to do with like drizzle over cheese curls that creases your mouth. Okay. Yeah. But then like I know it's funny because it was meant for milk, but then it went great with ice cream.
Because it wasn't super sweet.
Yeah.
It had a, I dare say, a chalky, but I don't mean chalky, but then there's a powdery feel to the texture somehow.
You feel like, it's going to be reconstituted into something for sure.
That was the interesting thing about it.
Wow. Brown cow. Remember the commercial had that element. But yeah, that was like our big ice cream friend. And then it was around that time that revelation. It's the frozen ice cream thing syrup and like that was quaint. But then it's really just a gimmick. And then I felt because the taste wasn't great.
So other toppings which I just really enjoy. But if it's for my own creations, I like using barquillos.
Oh yeah,
because the shards, the crunchy bits mixing with the ice cream is a nice mix. And then I like peanut butter because it adds that saltiness, which works with the flavors. If it's from outside, meaning I'm not the one preparing it, then I really like it when they have those type of chocolate that hardens and becomes a thicker drizzle. It's not the shell chocolate because those tend to be flavorless. So there's that really bitter ones that are interesting. And then what else? I'm not so much into fruit. I only like fruit with the icebergs stuff. But on its own, I mean, at home, I wouldn't mind doing a banana split.
Or like you remember you'd always keep like a jar of cherries.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun more than anything. It wasn't really a flavor I was looking for, but it was a nice thing to add to the flavor. Yeah. Now ice cream.
You make it sound like you can't have it. I'm the one who can't have ice cream.
I can't have it without feeling guilty. That's still a big thing.
it doesn't stop you.
Well, after a lot of internal decisions to finally do it.
Wala eh. I don't mind ice cream as much now as compared to like your sticko now. Because oh my god, you realize how fragrant sticko is. The living room smells like chocolate. It smells really good. Okay.
Soft serve. So soft serve, Family Mart soft serve ice cream is scarily good for me. I really appreciate it for
I
some
hope they
reason.
survive because I like all these
Yeah.
convenience store things because like not many people get to attack convenience stores now.
Mm. And then there were those more expensive, but they were more yogurt, but they were still served a la soft serve. Remember those places we used to go to in Cubao?
Which one?
They had the small dish, the larger dish. You get to choose a number of toppings. It was like between the two Cubao buildings. And they had those nice plastic spoons that we bring home afterwards.
Uh, I sorta, but most of the places we went to in Cubao were Dairy Queens.
Yeah, yeah. That was the only other ice cream place that wasn't Dairy Queen. It was outside. It's like beside the road, beside the driveway.
I'm not
You
sure.
don't remember na.
Yeah.
Because we'd go out, we'd eat there, so we're like facing the glass when we eat. And then we go back in the mall afterwards.
I don't remember.
So
I remember
Shopwise,
I remember
across the
getting
street,
quickly outside.
and then the ice cream place, and then the entrance. So sliding door yung entrance.
It's just a specific memory.
Yeah, I remember the name. But they would have parang Subway. You can ask for this, that topping. And then they measure and put it. Anyway, yeah. So that was more yogurt, I think.
Okay, Tom shares his sister has been buying frozen Brazo de Mercedes. It still has the meringue,
Ah, that's
but the
nice.
custard is ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating.
I've seen those. I've been tempted to buy those before, but that was back in Cubao. Now I don't see them anymore. But I heard those are pretty good. And I've seen some like super huge slabs. Parang wedding cake sa laki.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's Black
Wow.
51. I think that's the charcoal ice cream ice cream place. I think I saw that there during my walks and before. What else? You have also those weird pop-up brands, although I don't know if they're still around. There was that clown themed one, circus something. It was near the shabu shabu place we hated in 125.
Shabu shabu place we hate
Because
it.
they had the worst service and they made us wait for so long.
That's samgyeopsal, not
Yeah.
shabu shabu.
Oh,
But,
it's
okay, I
samgyeopsal.
remember. Yeah. Okay, now I remember what you're talking about.
But you remember the circus ice cream place there outside?
You tried it, no?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like by then I was
And
keto na eh.
it was two names, parang Frogo and something, parang ganung klaseng. It was not that bad, but it was also not that good.
Aina love white hat froyo with mangoes and mochi.
That sounds interesting.
Wasn't that white hat was the one that was inside Fully Book also? It's gone now. Whatever that yogurt place was, it's gone.
Yeah.
The Starbucks inside is gone. And then the Fully Book here in BGC.
Yeah.
Because quarantine killed all the restaurants in Fully Book. Oh, well.
Yeah, and then there were the gelato places we used to visit in Makati.
Mainly like when we watch a play, then we could get gelato.
Mhm.
And then it was so funny because we had stamp cards pa
Yeah,
for promos. And then
but we never really.
we never really completed.
Well, we never really stopped. We tend to just walk by them, and then we'll do that run trek to neutral grounds and a quick trek around. Ritas, yes, that was one of the other ones. And then what was the gelato one near the curry place?
Yeah, I remember. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I don't remember the name also, but we used to go there.
But
and-
it's gone now.
Yeah, that one was gone.
I appreciated that because then I really like their limoncello
Yes,
flavor. I like
yes.
the sharpness of the lemon,
Yes.
and then I contrast it with something chocolate.
And then I'd have two flavors.
Yeah,
in
same,
one cup.
same. Okay.
Yeah.
Mamia says they tried before that frozen custard, pure gelato. I don't remember anymore. Burgos Circle. Gelat was it gelat? No, not gelatin. Was it Bar Dolce? I don't think so.
But Burgos Circle could have been.
I don't think so. But because it's closed now, that's why it's making it
Yeah.
harder to find. But anyway,
And then
that was it.
I don't know if you guys remember that there used to be those ice cream maker toys. So as kids, you're supposedly able to make your own ice cream.
I don't think I ever had one of those. I made ice cream in chemistry class.
Yeah. I remember I wanted so much to get that toy. I was so determined. But most of them of course were very
Feminine.
um, meant for girls and not for boys. So I couldn't just ask for it for my parents. Um, yeah.
I'm sorry, Jed. The lemon cello thing is gone. It was the one. Was this? It used to be beside Queso,
And
but then now even Queso's gone.
Yeah.
Because at least from that location, because now it's a grocery.
mm-mm.
So it's like the transforming face of Burger Circle. Ah. Okay, that's what else? Anything else you want to cover in your ice cream episode?
So best memory of ice cream with Toby and Rocky is when Toby ate a whole bowl in front of Rocky and they were supposed to share.
I don't remember that because I feel like after the Godzilla
No, I think that
incident,
was when you challenged me to finish one. And then you ordered a smaller thing.
why would I challenge you to finish the big one? I don't think this is a challenge I would like honestly give because I know you can.
And then college Chem 101 ice cream pass.
Yeah.
I've always been tempted to find out where I can safely buy liquid nitrogen and keep it for the days I want ice cream.
You just need salt and ice. Start real quickly.
And
That's how we
that's
made
two
it.
metal bowls.
Yeah, we
right?
have two metal bowls
Yeah.
of different sizes, so you can totally make ice cream, a small quantity. But the effort will not be worth it.
Oh my gosh. And then I think in the end, I'm just happy that ice cream is still, you know, it's still out there.
You think ice cream's gonna disappear on you? That the world is so hard up that ice cream will stop?
Well, for a while, I thought gelato would like take over and ice cream would stop.
No, gelato is too much work
Yeah.
for efficient mass production of desserts.
And then Dippin' Dots, we only tried it once, right? We had that one time we decided to buy.
Together, I used to
And-
have so much
Yeah.
because it was at every school fair growing up, and then like, oh yeah, I'm gonna splurge
Not me.
hundreds of pesos on this little bowl of ice cream balls.
And I'd go, how much? And then I'd compare. I'll go to McDonald's. Well,
It was a thing. It was a thing. But I like the sort of the blasts of cold you get when you first get it because then the individual pellets are very cold. It's just funny to call them pellets. I don't know, but balls doesn't sound much better. So I was like I appreciated the science ice cream nature of it, but it really wasn't cost effective for the long term. I wonder if they'll survive this pandemic.
hopefully because of all the freezers they sold.
If they're being used that way. That was just a US discussion point.
Yeah.
I didn't see any like discussions here about working with Dippin' Dots and their freezers.
But then again, Dippin' Dots never closed through the years, so there's something up there.
We're gonna come back to Toby's usual belief that weird restaurants that open and close, especially in BGC, are all probably just
Part of some mafia thing.
yeah. He keeps thinking that people are laundering money
because you'd have a
through
restaurant,
bad restaurants.
you'd have this restaurant that opens and they serve nothing but steak, nothing but steak, and then after 2 weeks, and on that week when they open, it's like full, wine drinking, all these rich people outside, and then after 2 weeks it's closed, and then we're like, well, I guess they didn't stay open. And then, it's a new restaurant. And this time it's all about, I don't know, asparagus or something. But it's
Asparagus.
but it's all these niche super ultra rich restaurants, which I wonder how do they make money and why do they keep changing? Hmm.
Hence Toby's theory of money laundering in restaurants in BGC.
But of course, it's all completely unfounded, probably fictional, and so please don't sue us for this.
Yeah, that's like his headcanon or creepypasta or whatever you want to call it.
So yeah, ice cream. How do we close this episode?
I sort of miss it sometimes,
Mhm.
and then I try to take the plunge and get a keto ice cream and feel guilty about the price the whole time I'm eating it. But it helps,
Mhm.
But I do miss Toby's ice cream creations because I mean it's always fun to have dessert with Toby. That's
Mhm.
that's I'll admit that much. And then I mean it didn't make it any easier to decide to go on keto and then appreciate that I'm giving up dessert. Essentially, I'm giving up most dessert.
Mhm.
So yeah, but I mean like it's something to maybe to revisit every now and once in a while. Once I'm like super comfy with my weight level, then
Mhm.
I could probably I could probably try. How about you?
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Um, was there ever a leche flan ice cream? Because it's already a custard.
I think I saw like a Magnolia thing. I don't know because Magnolia in recent years, but I've done a lot of these like flavors of the Philippines type
Mhm.
whatever.
That's true.
Urim, yes, there is keto ice cream, but it costs like 500 a pint
Yeah,
thereabouts. So it's like buying a gallon,
yeah,
but
and
I'm
then
only
and then
getting a
a
pint.
lot of them aren't that good.
Yeah,
So far, we have not really found one that goes, okay, this is worth it. Because there have been keto pizzas that are also frighteningly expensive, but then we realized this is not bad.
some are good,
We
some
can
are
we
not
can
great.
have this every now and then. So yeah, it's a matter of that.
It's not worth it. And it I think because of the lack of milk, whatever, it never spreads. It never scoops well unless
Mhm.
I melt it to the point of it being semi-liquid.
Mhm.
Then but it's not fun because I like my ice cream firm
Mhm.
and shapeable.
Not like your dad
Who likes
who
it melted?
who likes it really melted.
Yeah.
And then I think there was that uncle of mine who wants it a certain middle mix.
Oh, na medyo chunky.
So it's kind of like a milkshake.
Shakey's milkshake. We're on to you.
Yeah, Shakey's milkshake. Which is crazy because there was that recent McDonald's milkshake that was very close to the Shakey's milkshake.
Well, but to be fair, the original McDonald's milkshake was
Wasn't
great.
that? Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't as thick as like a Frosty,
But
but
it was,
it was definitely based on the soft serve ice cream.
Yeah.
But this was also when like McDonald's consistently had more than one flavor of soft serve.
and they actually had pickles you had to remove because they were noticeably placed on the burger. I mean, back when we were young and we didn't like pickles. Now it's like
Pickle
sometimes
relish.
you can't find anything because it's all mushed together.
Mm.
It wasn't properly arranged. Yeah, those were the
Don't you
days.
miss that when the ice cream, the McDonald's or whatever or Jollibee would have at least two flavors, like a chocolate and a vanilla,
Mhm.
and then you could get a mixed swirl.
Yeah,
But then, due to cost, they just made it all vanilla.
and even no longer ice cream, but even Slurpees.
Mm.
I miss that when there were the Slurpee machines, and then you could even mix. So yeah. But I guess for an episode all about ice cream, we have hit an R. And I think before we get even more affected by craving desires, the duck has sounded, and it is time to end the episode. We thank you so much for joining us in this episode, and we hope you'll join us again next time.
If you have questions or suggestions for future episodes, fill up the form at bit.ly, Baduy Pride, ideas. Informally, we're experimenting with trying to gather all the food topics for Tuesdays. This is not a thing yet, and we don't have enough food topics for it. But we're trying. But let us know how you feel. You can follow us on Twitter, Altobino Shade, RG Sunico.
You'd also check out our blog, baduypride.com, for all the previous episodes and stuff about us.
And of course, feel free to continue the conversation in the comments below and let us know what are your happiest memories of ice cream and why is the Godzilla actually for sharing? Write in.
Let them fight.
Be sure to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Once again, I'm Rocky.
And I'm Toby.
And this is Baduy Pride. Good night, everyone.